Hi guys, welcome back to another video of 3 Guys on Mic. I'm William.
Little man.
And I feel like we have to keep on mentioning it, but Jeremiah is away playing football, just like last year. Well, for new viewers.
You don't have to keep mentioning it.
Probably. The new viewers are like, 3 Guys on Mic.
He hasn't been in a video since...
I don't know, I'm just
Super
Also, before we get into the video, we just want to remind you guys to like, subscribe. It really does help us out a lot. It really does make us feel like we're being, watched and cared about. Yeah. So, any feedback as well, if you guys agree. Also, make sure to leave your takes in the comments below. But let's get into the video.
Tied up by Green, throws it back up top. James puts up the three. Oh, it's gone! LeBron James from downtown.
We're going to go ahead and start off with the northern divisions. So, AFC and NFC North. Go ahead, Lamont. We're going to start off with the NFC North.
NFC North?
Yeah.
From 4-1, right?
Yeah, 4-1.
4-1? Okay. 4, I have the Chicago Bears. The only bright spots I see for this team is Roquan Smith, Darnell Mooney, and Justin Fields.
Roquan Smith might not even be on the team.
And he may not be on the team. But I think he's going to play out his contract. I really do think he is going to play out the rest of this year. Not very good on the offensive side. No real talent that pops to my eye besides Darnell Mooney and David Montgomery. And I really do like Khalil Herbert, the backup running back. I think they can be somewhat of a great duo if their O-line decides to block for them. And Justin Fields, I think he'll have... If he's protected, I think he'll have a better year than his rookie year. And I really do want to see what he's made of, considering how much talent he has on that offense. And with the defense, I mean, Jalen Johnson, Roquan Smith, Keem Hicks. It's nothing really special to me. They lost a lot of their players from that little run they had in 2018. But, yeah, I just don't see much future.
Yeah, me either. I do think we're gonna see a lot of improvement with Justin Fields. I just think having a new head coach, more Matt Nagy there. Feel like he's finally gonna have some consistency on offense. Yeah. But again, offensive line isn't really that good. Probably the bottom offensive line in the NFL.
The worst.
Yeah, probably. I do like Byron Pringle and Darnell Mooney. I don't think they're number 1 receivers. I don't think they're gonna flash out. They're not gonna be household names, but they can get the job done. And I feel like Fields can make it work. I think he's gonna be a bright spot on a horrible team.
I think they should look at some of these receivers that are on the trading block. Drew Rager, Denzel Mills.
Yeah, I feel like that is a good take. I have them at 5-12. Generally see them doing a lot. I think they're ceiling 7-10. I think that Justin Fields could win the shootout. He could win a few close games, but I don't really see much with this team.
Yeah, me neither. I have my 5-12 as well.
Okay. Go ahead with your 13.
With 3, I have this year's Hard Knocks team, the Detroit Lions.
Okay.
I have them at 7-10. I was really reaching for an 8-9, but I don't know because they really can't close out games, which I feel like they'll do that some this year, just not against the real competitive teams. Like, I think they can be competitive with anybody. Dan Campbell's coaching style, his assistants, they really show how much they really care and how much that record from last year hurts them. And I really think a lot of the players that they've gotten in the draft, Jameson Williams, Aiden Hutchinson, a couple other players that can't come to mind right now. But Panay Sewell, he's going to solidify himself as a top 5 tackle, I think, and by the end of his career. You got Jamal Williams and DeAndre Swift, and I think DeAndre Swift really is. I think that talk about him is really going to push him over the edge. I really think he's going to be a really good player this year. I really do. Jared Goff, I mean, kind of optimistic about him. I do like their defense. Jeff Okudah coming back. They got a bunch of young safeties, some young DBs, but the D-line, I think, and that front 7 might be their best bet. So I got them going 7-10.
Okay. I am very optimistic about Jared Goff. I really don't understand the hate that he gets. I really don't understand. Again, I don't think he's anything special, but if you surround him with a lot of talent, he can get the job done. Again, he was in the Super Bowl. He was a few games away from the Super Bowl a lot with Sean McVay. So I think he's a very serviceable quarterback. I think Dan Campbell is one of the better head coaches, not with the X's and O's, but just seeing the way he talks to that locker room, just seeing the way he is. I think he's one of the better head coaches. And again, I'm not one to really judge a team off of how we see them in Hard Knocks, but this team, I feel really optimistic about this team. I feel like they really do want it. You know what I mean? Regardless of how much skill they have, how much talent, they really do want it. And I think DJ Chark, Jameson Williams, St. Brown, I think they're all going to have really big years. I think Jared Goff could really help them, and they're going to help him. But I just think with his defense, they just need to stop allowing so many points. Again, we know that they came in close to a lot of teams last year. They won a few they won one against the Vikings at the end of the year. Last second touchdown. But I just think that looking at this team and a lot of their losses, allowing 41 points, 35, 34, 28, 44, 27, 38, 30, 51. It's like you can't be getting blown out like this. And especially if you know your team has fight. You know that your team is kind of one of those what do they always say, grit and hard knocks. That's the thing that's kind of on their board, grit. If you know you're a gritty team, you should really try to keep in close and pounce at the end. So I feel like that's kind of one of the things. And again, a lot of teams have this problem where they don't necessarily have the skill, or they do have the skill, but they just can't really win close games. And most games are won within the last 2 minutes of a game anyways. So I feel like this team is going to make improvements. I have them at 8-9, ceiling 10-7.
10-7?
Yeah, what was your ceiling for them?
I had him at 9-8.
Okay, well, yeah, not that bad. So, what's your second team?
The Green Bay Packers. And it's not even like I have him as a bad record. I have him at 11-6.
I'm not even gonna get mad at you because I was already debating which team.
I have him at 11-6. Yes, I do believe that obviously the loss of Devontae Adams is huge, really huge. I like some of the young guys they have, like I think his name is Christian Watson. And Kevin, is it Kevin Dobbs?
I think so, yeah.
Kevin Dobbs? I can't remember. But I know he's one of Aaron Rodgers' favorite targets. I liked him, a rookie, big receiver, good hands, a lot of speed. Alan Lazard, everyone kind of assumed that he was the number 2, and I think he's big enough. He's a big enough receiver to obviously take the number 1 receiver spot. You got Tunyon coming back, Aaron Jones, and A.J. Dillon, who continues to impress me every year he's been in the league. It's just, I don't know. It's like every time I watch them, somehow the games they lose, it's always near the end. I've never seen them actually, well, maybe against the Bucks that one year, but I've never seen them get beat down from start to finish.
And the Jags. The Saints last year.
And the Saints last year. But it's always in the end, and it's always something with the defense. I don't know. I just feel like they have too many miscues, and a lot of the times it's Matt LaFleur not trusting in Aaron Rodgers either. And I don't know. And I feel like Aaron Rodgers is going to get into his own head with these new receivers. And a lot of frustration will pummel over. But I still think they find a way to make the playoffs.
What's your record for them?
11-6.
And ceiling?
12-5.
Okay. I'm really not mad at that. I think for you guys who have watched the videos, I'm always high on the Packers every year. I think it's time for us to just stop talking about Super Bowl. If it happens, it happens. but if it doesn't, oh well. At least they're a competitive team. Always top 2, top 3 in the NFC. Looking at this team, I don't know if I have them or the Vikings. Being honest, I'm kind of gonna look at them both. I have the Vikings at 2 actually because I like my argument with the Saints versus Bucks. I think the Packers are a more consistent team. I think the Packers, they might not win every head-to-head matchup with the Vikings. I think the Vikings could certainly own them in a shootout. I think they have more of the firepower, especially now Devontae Adams gone. But I just think that who the Vikings got in the offseason, Zadarius Smith, Jordan Hicks, is going to help them a lot. And look at 8 of their 9 losses. They've been winnable games with the 1 possession. That's kind of insane to actually look at how close you are as a team to being one of the better contenders in the NFL to now be your 8-9 last year. So I do think, and also just Mike Zimmer's gone. We know his relationship with Kirk Cousins. You saw the one when they were kind of like shoving each other. It was just like a very awkward, like,
so weird. What
the hell? So I have them at 2 though, because I just think the Packers are going to be more consistent. I'm gonna go ahead and just do my number 1 pick So Packers have them at 13-4, ceiling 14-3. I just think that these young receivers, again, you're not going to replace Devontae Adams. I just think that you just have to kind of fill the gaps. Just kind of plug in the holes a little bit.
He does have a winning record without him.
Yeah, and again, we're talking about the back-to-back MVP year. So it's like he's not going to be struggling. He's not going to have the same explosive plays as he had in the past few years, but he'll get it done. I like Aaron Jones and A.J. Dillon. I think that you kind of have to lean on them a little bit more now this year. And again, Aaron Jones is a very good back to kind of catch the balls. So I think that he's going to have a lot of success. We know he could take a screen for 80 yards and just go off. I think this defense has a potential to be the best defense in the NFL. Potential. Again, last year, they were kind of they were good, but then again, there was kind of some question marks about them later on in the year and how they were kind of performing. But I do think that them, just as we know how we both feel about Jair Alexander, he's one of the better corners in the NFL. Kenny Clark is good. Preston Smith, DeAndre Campbell. I feel like they kind of have the core
Preston
pieces.
Smith kind of fell off, but I think he can.
I think he still
Or
could.
Sean Gary, he's
So I think that this defense could still really be good. Again, you have to fix your special teams. We know
oh my god.
the playoff game last year. We do know that they fired their special teams coordinator. I just
now
feel like
they have the Raiders head coach.
oh, yeah,
last
yeah,
year.
they do, huh? Yeah, I forgot
And
about
he was
so,
like the best special teams.
So I think that this team, I feel like you have Matt LaFleur has always had 13 wins as a head coach. Not many coaches could say that they did that. So I just think that this team is just going to be more consistent than the Vikings. But I do think that the Vikings could certainly pop, and they could be maybe top 2, top 3 team in the NFC. I feel like a lot of people are sleeping on this team and how good they can really be. Justin Jefferson is, in my opinion, number 2 receiver in the NFL. I think this man is going to pop. And again, he's going to be in kind of that Rams
Number 2?
system. I have him over Cooper Kupp. I'll go skill over production, just saying. But, yeah, just looking at it.
Skill.
Yeah. Justin Jefferson, he plays against... Never mind. I'm not going to say it. Justin Jefferson plays against actual cornerbacks, not slots. But
Oh my.
I don't know. I'm just saying. I think that
Oh
this
my
is going to be a
God.
very, very close race. I think that this is going to be one of those we're going to be watching in December and January. What?
Cooper Kupp won the Super Bowl on an outside route, but I don't
care.
know.
Justin Jefferson,
Justin Jefferson plays in the slot too.
yeah, he's
He's
amazing.
played half that Rams game.
Yeah, he's amazing.
Oh.
Well, anyways, I'm with the Packers, more consistent team, just like the Bucks and the Saints. But Vikings could certainly do it.
Yeah, the Vikings at the same record as the Packers, 11-6.
Mm-hmm. Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, I just think maybe they beat them twice.
I wouldn't argue that.
I think they could. And I think that's what will win them the division eventually. And yes, I think Zadarius Smith and Jordan Hicks will take them over the top because I think those are 2 playmakers on the defensive side of the ball. Zadarius Smith is, when he's healthy, and he's dominant. I mean, he's probably one of the best pass rushers when healthy. He forces fumbles.
Mm-hmm.
And I really do like the young DB group they got going on there in Minnesota. And then, like, the offense, I mean, there's no questions about the offense. I mean, maybe the O-line, yeah, but it's just Justin Jefferson, Adam Thielen, who, again, continues to impress every time he plays, every time he steps on the field, every new year. And Dalvin Cook, easily a top 3 back in the NFL.
I think not Justin Jefferson. Dalvin Cook is going to also have a bounce back year. As you know, last year
Bounce back.
Yeah, last year wasn't his best year. Look at
He's
his
had a
stats.
really good year.
Yeah, but I'm saying that I think that this year he's going to go back to that like top 2, top 3 running back that we thought he was 2-3 years ago. I'm being honest. I just think he's going to be really good this year.
Remember you said Cam Akers is better than him?
I never said Cam
No, I'm
Akers is
just
better
kidding.
than that.
But yeah,
Fumble machine.
I think the Vikings will take the North this year.
I'm not mad at it, honestly. I see a lot of people kind of... Okay, stop that. But, I don't know. How do you think Aaron Rodgers is going to perform this year?
I think he can win back-to-back MVPs. Back-to-back.
You're lying.
I'm not.
You think you win a third MVP without...
He could. I'm not joking.
I don't know. There's a lot of
He
quarterbacks.
really could.
Herbert, Allen,
Yeah.
Hurts,
Yeah.
Brady. Hurts. But yeah.
But how
so,
many of them are as talented as Aaron Rodgers?
Yeah.
And who don't turn the ball over.
Okay, I see your point. But all right, so next we're gonna go on with the AFC North. Now, start off with you. Who do you have coming in last?
The Browns.
Okay, yeah.
I don't like Jacoby Brissett. I don't like him. I think he loses his confidence a lot once things go downhill.
Mm-hmm.
And I think they have receivers who do that as well. I mean, Donovan Peoples-Jones. He digresses the moment that offense goes down with him.
Mm-hmm.
As soon as they don't move, he just... I don't know. And Amari Cooper, we've seen it plenty of times on the Cowboys when they weren't doing squad on offense, and he was just taking himself out of the game.
Mentally checked out. Mm-hmm.
I think they'll have a lot of that, but I can't say anything more about what I think about Nick Chubb. He's easy a top 5 running back. That's a dude I've literally loved the Cowboys to get. But other than him and Kareem Hunt, I just don't see much promising. Really good O-line, don't get me wrong. But it's just the quarterback play will just, until week 11, just won't be there. And their defense, Greedy Williams, Greg Newsome, who again was like a really good candidate for rookie defensive player of the year.
Mm-hmm.
Myles Garrett, can't say enough about him. They get Jadeveon Clowney. Just a lot of good things on defense. It's just really like the same situations as the Dolphins.
Uh-huh.
The quarterback play is just never there because they never really had the talent. But the defense will get you turnovers and get you the ball back, but the offense just won't do nothing.
I agree with you. I think
And I think they're 7-10.
7-10.
Yeah.
Okay. Damn, that's fourth. 7-10. Okay. I do agree with a lot of points that you have. I just think that I think right now the Steelers just don't have it. I think if you look at it when your head coach.
That's disrespectful.
No, I'm just saying when your head coach has to call your offensive line for a preseason game, like showing that they don't have the grit or like they're not even showing the effort. That's kind of sad to see, especially like this early on. Their quarterback race, Pickett, I like him, but I don't think he's a win-now quarterback. I'm just saying, I don't think he's a win-now quarterback. I think Rudolph isn't a win-now quarterback. I don't think Trubisky is a win-now quarterback.
You taught me to not hate on rookies before they even play a single game,
Yeah.
not even preseason. And Kenny Pickett took his team with a minute left, 83 yards down the field, a game-winning touchdown, and you hated him.
No, I didn't. I never.
You hated the fact that he did that.
No, I didn't.
You
That's
said
literally not
that.
what
You
I
said,
said.
who did he play against?
Yeah,
said the
he played
Jags.
his backups.
Oh.
I'm not saying he's trash. Okay, what I'm saying is, I
That's
would
still
never.
impressive.
I know. I'm not saying it wasn't impressive. I'm just saying I'm not going to be like, he needs to be the starter now. It's like, let's pump our brakes first. And I think it's kind of dumb to call quarterback trash after their first year. But again, all I said was he's not a win-now quarterback. That's all I said. I never said he was going to be horrible. I'm just saying I don't think he's a win-now quarterback. Your offensive line isn't good. I don't think that defense is good enough to pull you out a lot of these close games. And again, I don't think they have the firepower, even with the Browns offense the way they are right now. I don't think they have the firepower to match them either. Being honest, having the Browns with their two Kareem Hunt, Nick Chubb. They also have Amari Cooper. Regardless of how you feel about him, I'm just saying I just don't think that the
You don't think the Steelers have the firepower?
No, I think Najee Harris is great, but I don't think he's gonna carry.
Steelers have a top 5 receiving core.
Top 5 receiving core.
Deontay Johnson, Chase Claypool.
Top 5
Pickens?
receiving core. Top 5
You
receiving
can
core.
literally argue that.
Pickens pushes the DB
Between a
once.
trio. What other team has a trio like that?
Quez Watkins, Devontae Smith,
Oh my
AJ Brown.
God.
Don't even talk to me. So listen.
Oh
so I have the
my
Steelers
God.
going in.
Pat Fryermuth.
No,
Come
I have the Steelers
You're a
going in
hater.
at 6-11.
You're such
I
a
think the
hater.
ceiling could be 8-9. I just don't see a lot
I
with
don't
this
listen no
team.
more.
And I think that Mike Tomlin is going to get his first losing season. I just feel like it. I feel like
How can you bet against Mike Tomlin, dog? He's
no,
never
I
had a losing season.
don't care. He's still going to come in last.
Yeah, I do have him at 8-9.
Yeah. So you have. So yeah, they're not even that much of a
No,
difference against the Browns.
Knowing the Steelers, they'll go 8-1.
Yeah, they're going to tie some random
They'll
team.
tie the Lions or something. Yeah, I have the Steelers at 3rd. 8-9. Just, again, the same thing, the quarterback play. Their defense, TJ Watt, Miles Jack, Cam Hayward. They'll do their thing. But it's just, oh man. When you have that good of a wide receiver trio,
Stop about this wide receiver trio.
and you can only have someone to throw the ball that deep downfield, and you just know the talent isn't all there, it's just really hard. That's why I have them going 8-9. And I think we'll see a lot of quarterback changes.
Yeah, you
Mitch
have
will
to
never.
wait.
Mitch won't be the starter all throughout the season.
I don't think so either. I think if you draft a quarterback, you're gonna have to put him in, and I don't think they're gonna win many games this year. So it's like they're gonna go with the.
How many games anyway?
That's at 6, I think. I think it's at 6 games.
6?
Yeah. Imagine me be wrong. I did pick the Bengals to be dead last year.
Did you?
Yeah, you picked them to be like 3rd or
Third.
something. But just don't see the appeal with the Steelers. My 3rd team, I'm going with the Browns. I think
what's the Steelers' ceiling?
I said 8-9. Sorry.
10
Are you a Steelers fan all of a sudden? 10-7. Okay, well that's your ceiling. Okay, whatever. But with the Browns, I think you can lean on your running backs. Nick Chubb, who I think is great. And again, his production wasn't all there last year, but I think he's going to bounce back. I think that Kareem Hunt, even though we know about him wanting to trade, I think they're going to stick with him throughout the year. He's also going to be a guy to really help them out.
By the way, the same. Probably number 1 is literally in their same division. The Bengals. Wide receiver trio.
Dude, the Bengals compared to the Steelers
when was Chase Claypool ever bad?
last year, well, not bad, but he wasn't. His rookie year, he was good, but I'm saying like after that,
And the Broncos are there too.
Jesus Christ, little man.
Okay, go ahead.
Anyways, but I'm saying I just think that the Browns could hold on. I feel like their roster is decent and good, or good enough to at least hold on until Deshaun gets back. But I also just think teams with internal issues, it's just hard for them to really focus on just the game. And I think that there's going to be a lot of questions regarding Deshaun, and I think it's just kind of going to be a distraction. But I do think that they're going to be pretty decent. I have them at 8-9. Ceiling, have them at 10-7. Who knows? Deshaun Watson could come back, and again, when Deshaun comes back, I don't think he's going to be all there. I don't think he's going to be great. We saw him in that preseason game; he really wasn't there. He's missed what, a year and a half of football, almost 2 years of football.
Yeah.
So it's going to be hard for them to kind of get him back to that form until next year. But I do think that they're going to sneak out some games. I think Deshaun, when he comes back later on, week 15 and on, I think they could really be a good team. But then I could be in position to make the playoffs.
They were your third team?
They're my 13.
What's your ceiling?
I think I said 10-7. Yeah, 10-7. So what's your second team?
The Bengals. The Bengals going 11-6.
Okay.
I love the addition of La'el Collins. I can't remember his name for the life of me.
Who?
For the Patriots, the guard.
Oh,
Karras?
Yeah.
That's his name,
I
right?
think so, yeah.
Oh my God, that only makes Joe Mixon 10 times better than what he is. The run game is going to be dominant. A lot of RPOs. I mean, the wide receiver screens, running back screens. We're going to get a lot from this Bengals offense, and I don't think a lot of teams from that division are going to expect that. And I think it's just... And the defense, I think they'll repeat what they had last year. I mean, I don't really see much of a fall-off. Because they surprised a lot of people last year. And I think they'll use that momentum and ride off of that into next year. Because keep in mind, they kept the Rams at 16, right?
16, yeah.
16 for what, like
Well, they also only have one receiver.
1 and 2 quarter?
You know, the third best receiver in the NFL. Go ahead.
Second. But, yeah, I think they'll be a surprise this year. I mean, a lot of people have them taking the division. But,
Yeah.
like I said, I'm just taking a healthy Ravens team. They'll go number 1.
Okay.
And their ceiling is 13-4.
13-4, okay. Yeah, I think, so we're both in agreement. I have the Bengals at 2. I do think that the Bengals are still going to be a very, very good team. I just think if you look at it, it's kind of hard to replicate that same success after you lose the Super Bowl, just historically. But again, I don't think they're really going to have that much of a drop-off because they didn't really have to pay anyone big money. And they addressed their biggest issue, which is the offensive line, and which is great to hear for Joe Burrow. We know his torn ACL and how many times he was hit and sacked last year in the playoffs, and how they actually lost the Super Bowl was because of their lack of offensive line. But I think it's just going to be kind of hard to replicate that same success, especially when you have the Ravens coming back. And I think that the Bengals, I think their schedule is going to get a lot harder. They have the Bucks, the Cowboys, and a lot of these other good teams. But I just think that I more have a gut feeling about the Ravens than I do have negatives about the Bengals, if that makes sense. And again, the Bengals could very well win this division. I have them at 12-5 and have their ceiling at 14-3. I think they're neck and neck with the Ravens. I think it's
14-3.
Their ceiling, yeah.
Damn.
They just take off. But I'm saying I have the Ravens at 1 just because I feel like they're gonna win just against the Bengals. I feel like they're a better matchup and they're a better coached team than the Bengals. But go ahead.
Yeah, me as well. I have the Ravens at 1. I have them at 12-5.
Okay.
And their ceiling is 13-4 as well.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I think they edge out a lot of wins against their division opponents, and they did have a problem closing out games last year too.
Mm-hmm.
But I think with a lot of their players coming back healthy, Ronnie Stanley, as y'all know, he was the one who destroyed his ankle last year.
Yeah.
Right? And Rashad Bateman, I think he's gonna take that step for sure as the number 1 wide receiver in Baltimore.
Mm-hmm.
And Lamar, I mean, potentially you could say a lot of people aren't writing him off that he can have a MVP type season.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. It's just really hard to say because there's just a lot of good quarterbacks, a lot of candidates out there. But I think John Harbaugh, right?
One of the Harbaugh, yeah.
One of the Harbaugh brothers. I think he learns his lesson from last year and takes his points, and I think they win a lot of close games this year.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think that just looking at this team, they're probably the best coached team in the NFL. Through and through, I think we have Hundley, when he came in the last few games of the year with Lamar's injury, and he was really like he had the Ravens in a lot of close games, and he was performing very well. Lamar, I agree with you. I think that he is potentially going to have another great year. Looking at games like Denver when he was just passing out of his mind, coming back against the Colts, he still has Mark Andrews, Bateman, who like we're saying, and how I said, he needs a big body receiver with a lot of catch radius, and that's what is going to help Lamar out.
I mean, they're sleeping on Devin Duvernay. And they also got DeMarcus Robinson.
Mm-hmm. One thing also that I think about is just his defense. I feel like they just suffered a lot of injuries. What's the cornerback's name? I forgot his name.
Marcus Peters?
No. I know Marcus Peters is coming back healthy. Marlon Humphrey, there we go. Marlon Humphrey, he didn't have his best year, and I think he's going to bounce back. He's one of the best cornerbacks in the NFL, one of the most physical ones as well. And I think Kyle Hamilton is going to help a lot. He is 6'4", however tall he is, a safety, just long strides. So I feel like he's going to be a very good player for them. But yeah, I think Lamar, again, a lot of people you either love him as a player or you hate him as a player. And I think right now I don't have him as a top 10 quarterback because he hasn't done it, but he certainly has a potential to be one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL.
Definitely.
He just needs the help, needs to be healthy. His running backs are now they got healthy. And again, just Harbaugh is one of the better coaches when it comes to just giving them when it comes to having the running game work.
Mm-hmm.
And Lamar, one of the best runners in the NFL.
They also have a really good running back duo now in Kenyon Drake and J.K. Dobbins.
They got Kenny Drake?
And Gus Edwards.
They got Kenny Drake? So yeah. So I think, and again, that was just the biggest thing for them was health. I have them going 13-4 and the Schilling 15-2. So I have them edging out.
Oh my god.
This is again the ceiling. It's their ceiling, so it's like just them as good as they can
even
be.
13-4.
I think I have them 13-4. I think they're gonna be one of the better teams in the AFC. So we're both in agreement, right? Except for the 3-4.
Yeah.
Okay, so let us know what you guys think about our predictions. Let us know what you think about the Bengals. Let us know what you think if they're still gonna be that same team or even get better. If the Ravens, if their injuries are really the problem or not, just let us know, guys. Any feedback is greatly welcomed. We appreciate you guys watching the video, all you guys subscribing, all you guys liking the videos and viewing.
And again, give us your hottest takes in the comments.
Yeah, and we're going to put a few polls up in the next few days regarding the NFL and the upcoming season. So thank you guys.